Hi. I'm sitting here going through my brand new purchase of Larimar beads. They're stones, they're natural stones. They're one of the rarest gemstones you can get right now. They're from the Dominican Republic, and the jar broke on the way to me. So I am sitting here. There's the jar. I have all of the pieces over here, and I'm like getting them all separate. Anyway, I haven't been on here for a little while because I had a whole bunch of changes in my life recently, and one of them was that I had to put my sweet little Chihuahua to rest on 9/11, and it was really hard for me to process. I still miss her a lot, and I did some tarot reads last week for the first time without her next to me or at my feet, and it was very, very different. I brought her ashes home last night, and between the time that she was cremated and the time that I brought her home, all that time I didn't feel her energy here at the house at all. And before that, when she was in my basement, right, I had her in my basement waiting to go either to the grave or to be cremated. And I had her in my basement. I kept getting visits from what I think is manifestations of her spirit, different ways that we may have been together in the past. And so when I sent her away for cremation, I didn't really feel, her energy in the house. And when I brought her home yesterday, I told the people, I said, I'm really interested to see what my night is going to be like, right? So her energy is back. I had not only dreams of her, but I actually kind of felt her get in the bed. So so that's been interesting. And on Tuesday coming up here, I'm going to be doing tarot reads again. And I'm, a little apprehensive, like what is it going to feel like? Not having her here, I definitely, she was such a little dog, right? She was just she was less than 8 pounds. She was a little sweet Chihuahua. She was really sweet to people. And I know those two words don't usually go together, sweet and Chihuahua, but she actually really was. She was kind of bossy, and I'd come home or she'd boss me around or whatever, but she loved people. And it's just so impressive to me at how much energy she actually put forth in the world from just this little body, right? And it has me thinking about us as humans. We put so much energy into the world, and when we're gone, we are so missed because that specific particular, that one unique energy that you put out into the world is gone. I say gone, but it's not really gone, right? You're not gone, but you're harder to access now, right? When you pass over to the other side, you're just harder to access. And so it has me, and in the meantime, with all of this going down, I actually had put my 2 weeks notice in for my full-time job. I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. There's all these things happening, and y'all want me tied to my desk, and I can't promise that I'm going to be tied to my desk 100% of the time like I'm supposed to. And I just don't want to be that person. So I put my notice in, and now, that my energy is going to be getting taken away from the company. Like before, I really felt unseen, unheard, really unappreciated. And now it's like all of a sudden, oh my God, let's meet with you. Do you want to, would you stay if we could do this, that type of thing. And so, I don't really know what the point of this video is, other than these are all the thoughts that I've had for the last few days. And I'm just kind of meditating while I'm sorting out my Larimar beads. And the Larimar beads, not only are they the most rare gemstone, one of the most rare gemstones in the world, but they can really help you connect to your spirit guides. And so, I'm getting like a lot of messages coming in right now as I'm working with these. And I'm just thinking about how we might not think that we make such a difference in the world. I didn't think that it was going to hit me as hard as it has with my little dog being gone. Her name was Pixie. And, I'm sure that there's so many times that we as humans, we think that we don't make a difference, or people wouldn't notice that we leave. And I'm here to tell you that people notice. It doesn't even matter who you are, people notice when you're gone. It is felt. The energy is taken away, and you have a unique value in the energy that you possess. And now I'm kind of thinking about how there's this whole, in the dating scene, in the dating world, or in the relationship genre, like if you know go on any kind of social media app and you look up what people are saying about being in relationship, and men, I'm talking about men and women relationships mainly. There's this whole dichotomy. There's this one side of the fence where all the women are evil, and men are lonely because women don't want to be with men. And then there's the other side of the fence where men are terrible and all this stuff. And if you break it down to an energy level, people just forget how valuable each other are to each other, right? I think that's a big piece of it, right? Like when you've been with somebody for so long, or when you're, think about how the stages of when you meet somebody. You meet somebody, everything's fresh and new, and you're excited to get to know this person. You don't know anything about them, And so there's a value there. There is an innate value because this is a new energy that you're getting used to, that you're learning, and you're getting to know, right? And then as time goes on, you're starting to get comfortable with the person if the relationship lasts. You're getting comfortable with the person and things like that. And then you just kind of like take it for granted that that person is there until they leave, right? I was with somebody for 22 and a half years, and we definitely took each other for granted, for sure. I broke up with him, and I'm not going to go into the whole details of the relationship or anything like that, but I know definitely I was taken for granted, for sure. And, when I first broke up with him, the house got quiet. The day that he left the house, it was totally quiet. And me and my kiddo looked at each other and was like, wow, like it was a noticeable difference that this person was not in our house anymore. So anyway, energy and what you bring to the world. There is a specific, unique energy that you bring to the world. When I do tarot reads, I connect with my client's energy, and a lot of times I will feel it in some place in my body. Sometimes it's not localized. A lot of times it is, but sometimes it isn't. It's just like a general feeling. But energy doesn't stop flowing, even if you're across the country from each other, or you're on the other side of the world from each other, or even if you can't see each other, you are still able to connect with the other person's energy, because energy doesn't stop, right? And it was, I don't know why I didn't feel my little pixie's energy without her body being here. Maybe she is hanging out with where her body is. I don't know. I maybe I just had a blockage while she was gone. I don't know, because like I said, energy doesn't stop, and you can feel someone, or you can feel another being from far away. So anyway, it's just kind of like what I'm thinking about today. And I thought, well, I've been wanting to do this the last video for my series for, I've been doing a rainbow translation of the Rainbow Tarot from the Morgan Greer tarot cards, and I have the major arcana left to do, and I haven't done it. And I keep having, something that gets in the way of me doing it. And so to me, that's another energy, right? There's something going on there that has me stopped, and that's something that I'll look at. But definitely, having the loss of my animal and my companion, and then all of the changes in my schedule and stuff like that is definitely impacting it. But I felt like I should get on here and just kind of tell you, like, some things that were happening with me, and what I'm thinking of, and just how things are going. And I go live on a regular basis, and people want to know more about, kind of behind the scenes of what I'm doing and what I'm up to. And that it's early in the morning. I'm just here, my kiddo is asleep upstairs in bed, and I'm just here sorting through these these stones that I got, and thinking about all of these things, and thinking about energy. And I wanted to share that with you. So anyway, thanks for hanging out for my ramblings. If you made it to the very end, I really appreciate you. Love you. Thank you for that. And I will see you soon. Bye.